All right. Hello, beautiful, intelligent, amazing people. How are you? Good, good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, today is Friday, so I'm all about Fabulous Fridays / Financial Fridays / Let's figure out how to get you some money Fridays. Are we on the same page about that? All right, beautiful. So I want to tell you a little bit about management leadership for tomorrow. Actually, a lot. Because once again, it directly impacts our Financial Fridays / Getting You Money Fridays. So our remarkable founder, Mr. John Rice, established management leadership for tomorrow over 20 years ago. He graduated with his MBA from Harvard and just launched right into his corporate career. It was extremely lucrative, but when he got there, he saw that there was a lack of diversity of thought, diverse backgrounds, and he wanted to do something about that. Because in order to be sustainable, you need to have people from different backgrounds supporting your company. We need different approaches to solve various problems. We need innovation, and you can't get innovation in homogenous groups because everyone's thinking the same and approaching things the same. So he left his very lucrative career and established management leadership for tomorrow with the intent of grooming C-suite executives. So every single fellow who gets accepted into MLT is trained and groomed to, at some point in your career and the trajectory of your career, to be a CEO or president of a company. That is the ultimate goal. If you are not a CEO or president of one of our partners' companies and your desire is to be the CEO and president of your own company, we want to set you up for success to do so. Now, we have a number of alum who are multimillionaires and they love to give back to MLT. And not just financially, but with their knowledge. So there was just a webinar put together with one of our alum over 2 weeks ago, sharing how to secure donors and partners for your ideas and your companies, including angel donors. And in his presentation, he shared, he goes, yeah, once you hit that first million, everything else from there is just super smooth, because you've created systems and operations and you can just keep applying them. It's sustainable. I don't know about you, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. Easy after the first million. Okay. It's like that. So you're around people who can connect you and get you where you need to go. Now, granted, the average salary of a fellow coming out, it's about $91,000 to $96,000 a year. But if you're computer science, it ranges from $120,000 to $150,000 a year. That does not include relocation money or sign-on bonuses, or even the equity that you get with the company, because some of our fellows are able to negotiate that into their contracts. So that's something to also think about. It's amazing. But not only are you getting that, your social capital grows exponentially. We have over 10,000 alumni. Over 10,000. Now, one of our alum, just to give you an idea, I'm just going to throw this out there. She used to be the VP of Human Resources for the NFL. We have alum at Nike, Apple, Google, alum who have their own programs and organizations are establishing software. It's remarkable. There is also an alum, I can't put his name out there, but he gives us $50,000 every year just to say thank you. Now, when I was in a meeting and I first heard this, I thought, oh, this is nice. This man is donating $50,000 from his company, the company he works for. This is great. And I was quickly corrected. They said, no, that money comes from his bank account. I was like, oh, okay. Just got 50 grand laying around to donate. That's wonderful. But that's what MLT sets you up for. Now, to also give you a better understanding of the types of people that fully support MLT and the mission, we had an analyst who worked for us in the primary stages of the development of the organization. He did a lot of great things, but he got inspired by the work that we were doing because he saw students come in and students exit, and then the trajectory of their careers were skyrocketing. And he thought, wow, if we're taking the time to invest in these remarkable students, what can I do with my time if I invest in me? So he spoke to our president and said, it's been great working for MLT. This is wonderful. But I now want to take a chance on myself. And I'll stay in contact with you. But thank you so much for the opportunity to work for MLT. Fast forward to today. That analyst is John Legend. John Legend, yes. And he is also on our board of directors because he still believes in the fiber of who we are and what we're doing. We also just received a little over $1 million from Michael Jordan. He's also in support of what's taking place. We have amazing companies like Deloitte, Netflix, TikTok, Apple, and so many others who fully support what we're doing, and they believe in you. These are just some of the companies, just some. And I want you to also know that when you are a part of MLT, they intentionally hold internship opportunities for you. They intentionally hold full-time positions for you. They understand the caliber of student coming through MLT, and they want to make sure that their company is competitive, innovative, growing, sustainable, and continuously making money. So they are excited to partner with MLT Fellows. Now, with the internships over the summer, you get paid anywhere from $20 to $40+ an hour. An hour. Just for the summer. That sounds very nice. Very, very nice. And not only are you getting compensated for your skill set, but you're getting exposure. And you can get in some of these organizations and you can determine whether or not they align with your ultimate goal. Like, it's great to fantasize about working for an organization. I'll just throw a random name out there, Velocity Incorporated. You're working for Velocity Incorporated because you thought, oh my gosh, Velocity is amazing. They have their own culture. It's fabulous. And you get there and you're like, oh, okay, there's no balance. You guys don't have a life. Okay, great. You're basically living here. Oh, okay. This is not what I thought. Velocity look a lot better from the outside. So you at least have a chance to assess the company to see whether or not that's a place you want to work. And then you may go into an organization and you're thinking, hey, I'm excited about cybersecurity. I'm blue team. Like, let me get in here. Let me see what we can do. And you get in there and you see all this amazing stuff happening with the red team. And you're like, oh, I think I need to switch teams. I thought I wanted to be on the blue team, but the red team is where it's at. This is fabulous. I love it. That's great. Or you may think, you know what? I just want to go into accounting. This is fabulous. You go into accounting, you're having a great time, and then you get into a company and you're like, all those people over there have company cars. And I heard somebody talking that they have like a little credit card with the company. What positions are those? Like, okay, they are in our private equity department. Yes, they oversee a lot of our, trust, and they're working with a lot of our clients who make a lot of money. Okay, well, what's like the starting salary? $300,000. Oh, $300,000, and that's a start? Okay, that's great. Where's the application? So you just get exposure and you can see what is out there for you. That's the ultimate thing. But we do intentionally connect with students who have a heart to create positive change within the environment around you. We don't want you to be groomed to be CEOs and presidents of companies who don't genuinely care about the well-being and the development of others. So we are intentional about connecting with students who want to create change because the culture we've created. Every single MLT alum loves the opportunity to give back and to help others. So as soon as you're part of the MLT family, if we don't have a company that you want to be partnered with, but one of our alum is already working there, you can easily reach out to them. And because you say, hey, I'm part of MLT, they're like, okay, hey, when do you want to schedule a meeting? I'd love to connect with you. That's the culture we have because we intentionally connect with students who want to give back and help others. We want you to leverage your power and your wealth to, once again, create positive change. It's really, really important for us that you're doing that. And then we want you to be happy. And then, of course, we want you to be a part of a family that's thriving and you can thrive with. I don't know about you, if you've ever been in a situation where you're doing great financially and you're planning trips, and then your friends are like, oh my gosh, where are you going? You're like, oh, I'm just going to Hawaii real quick. And they're like, oh, can you pay for me? That's not what we want for you. We want you to be surrounded by people who are like, oh, you're going to Hawaii? Oh, I'm going there too. Like, I was literally talking to an alum. He works at Microsoft, and him and his friends are going to Japan. They all make great money, and they're able to enjoy life that way and not feel guilty about their success. That's something to also think about, because we don't think about that. We're just like, we're excited to get there. We want you to have that network. We want you to have that family. Another thing to consider and to think about is our requirements. Let me see if we can scroll down here. Yes. So here we are with the eligibility. So for the application right now, we are looking for students, not necessarily sophomores, but if your expected graduation date falls between December of 2026 all the way through to August of 2027, you are eligible to apply to career prep right now. Right now. You do have to be a U.S. citizen and a U.S. permanent resident or a DACA student. That is a part of our requirements. You have to be earning a bachelor's degree at an accredited four-year institution. That's applicable here. 3.0 GPA, that's the minimum. And I've spoken to a number of students who said, hey, I'm not a 3.0 right now, but after my grades are put in from this semester, I will be over a 3. If that is your situation, please apply once those grades are submitted, like as soon as they are in. I don't care if it is December the 1st at 12 a.m. You submit your unofficial transcript with your application so that we have it in the system, because I want to make sure you're at least giving yourself a chance to get in. Another thing, if you're interested in business or technology, it's great. Anyone else who's thinking, hey, I want to go into HR, we're for you as well. We're for you as well. We take literally every major. But if you have the intent of going straight into a master's degree upon completing your bachelor's, we currently don't have anything in place to support your success. But if you are thinking, I do want to get a MBA or a master's in chemistry, not a problem. But if you're saying I need some work experience first, we're for you. If you just want a little work experience before you dive right into your graduate degree, excellent. MLT can support that. And I often speak to students and I share with them, you can negotiate that in your contract for your company to pay for your master's. Now, you may have to commit an additional 3 to 4 years working with them upon completing your master's. But if someone's paying for that credential, that might be worth it. Just something to think about, something to throw out there. Another thing is that you have to have essentially a lived experience that aligns with MLT's vision. Like we want to make sure, once again, that character piece is there, that you care about giving back to others. That's extremely important to us, extremely. And I need you to make sure that you have your unofficial transcript and your resume ready. That is a key component to the application. Make sure you have those ready and that your transcript is reflective of your current enrolled courses. Please. That allows for the process to go by a lot smoother. We no longer have a video component that has been redacted from the application. So you should be able to complete the application in 30 minutes or less. Yes, sir.
For people who may not have like their resume at the part, they're trying to get some of those experiences, what are some of the things that are looking for
at this stage? Great question. Some of your relevant coursework, if you're telling me that you're interested in finance and you want to be a finance accountant, let me see what type of coursework you have. You can put that on there. If you're part of any groups or organizations on campus, put that on your application. If you are even in computer science, all my computer science amazing students, we like projects. Okay, so if you don't have a whole bunch of experience, that's perfectly fine. Put your projects on there, including your independent projects. We want to see your actual application of the languages and the platforms that you have experience with. That's important to us. Also, GitHub. If you have a GitHub, put that on there. Make sure your GitHub is relevant of the languages that you know and your skill set. Please make sure it is a true reflection of your current skill set. That's important. Yes. And volunteer work is huge as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, what business majors do you not have, like projects?
Yeah, volunteer experience is also important. Yes, sir.
What if the graduate spring
Spring 2026. What do you want to do with your, like, what do you want? What's your major? Computer science. No. Meet with me after? No, I have a list of companies that you can apply for that are always looking for computer science majors. I'll give you the landing pages of their job boards. It's over 50. I got you. Okay. See me after. No problem, sweetie. Anyone else? Yes. How competitive? What's your major? Very competitive. The sooner, the better. Like, I'm being so honest with you. The sooner you put your application in, the better. And once again, to stand out, make sure you have your languages on there and the application of your languages. So if you're telling me you're familiar with utilizing C++, Bash, C#, Python, give me some projects where you're utilizing those. Don't just say them, because I could do that. I could easily say all of that. And they're like, oh, okay, she knows it. Code. I'm like, code what? Code blue. So just being honest with you, make sure that's on there. Okay. GPA is always nice. Experience is always great. What are you involved in? Any clubs? Collaborative projects look great, by the way. It shows that you can actually work with people outside of your discipline and communicate what you know. Yes, I saw a hand. Yes, sir. No, it is literal. Submit the application. That's it. We want to get this going. Yes. So I'm sorry for all of our amazing fellows that came before you, because that video component was very stressful. I'm so sorry, you guys. We still care about you wherever you are out there in the world. But yeah, there is none of that. Just make sure that your resume is robust and a true reflection of what you've done, what you've been involved in. That's perfect. And then there are 2 essay questions in the application. They ask you basically, how do you align with the mission and vision of MLT, which is we want to give back to underrepresented communities. That's huge to us. How are you currently involved in doing something like that? Are you volunteering on campus? Do you support the food pantry at a local church? Like, what are you doing to give back? Are you tutoring children who don't have access to just a quality education? What are you doing? We care about that. Once again, that character piece is huge for us. We also ask you, has there ever been a time where, you yourself were lacking resources you needed to be successful? We want to know your story. We want to know more about you. Share at your comfort level. Please don't feel the need to just dive right in and submit like, oh, here's my medical bill to show. Like, we don't need that. But definitely share your experience at your comfort level. Once again, we want to see your character. We want to see what kind of person you are, because we're grooming you to be in charge. We're grooming you to have a greater impact. And it's important to us that we know we're connecting with just remarkable students who have a heart to give back. You have a question? I see it in your left eye.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, because I'm, like, currently in the program, we've gone through it.
Do you need the mic? You know me? What about the stream? He's good? He's good? Okay.
Okay. So as a student who's currently going through it, I can kind of like maybe answer some questions. But I can tell you about my experiences. I did do the video.
Sorry.
Yeah, those are always fun. But since then, it's been like a really, really good community. And like right now, the way the job market is almost at the point where like if you don't know somebody or know somebody who knows someone, like you're pretty much cooked, unfortunately. And so MLT has really been like a blessing in that sense of getting that network, getting around people that I normally wouldn't get around. We have like Valero, we have like HEB, we have like a few others like come through, but like some of these other companies like Netflix, like Adobe and stuff like that, like, they're not one of their targets. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And so this helps get, especially us here at UTSA, in those positions that we wouldn't normally. And so, like for example, you leaning on the MLT alumni actually used the portal and started reaching out to people for coffee chats, and like ended up getting a referral to Dell behind it.
Hey.
And so it does, like it does turn into things. And I got really cool with Joyce Lee, the recruiter at Adobe. who's put me in touch with the areas that I want to be able to. That's a separate thing. But I say all that to say, like, it helps open doors. Like, it has done so for me and the community of people. So it's great having a community here, but it's also having like a good international community, like coming across people, friends from like MIT, Berkeley, stuff like that. That again, I would not have known those across. So, and we're actually in the talks for doing a startup actually. But I'd say the network is really a huge thing, and in this job market, because it's not even just about like your project, your EPA anymore. It's really about
Oh, I love it. I got to give him a round of applause. Yes, that was fabulous. And literally to your point, that networking piece, once you're in MLT, you're family for life. And so we do have an alum who'll reach back out and say, hey, I've been at this VP level for 4 years now. I'm ready. What do I need to do? What's next steps for me? And we are committed as a family to get you to where you need to go. Like I said, the goal is for you to be a C-suite executive. So that is what you should also know. Also, we had an amazing alum reach out to me, say, hey, Miss Jones, I love my job. I'm doing great things, making a lot of money, but I'm lonely and I don't really have like family out here. I don't have any friends. And I was like, okay, where do you live again? Contacted the alumni office. Hey, we have a baby out here. They are lonely. Like, what's the chapter? She's like, oh yeah, I'll connect them to the chapter. They can get going. Next thing you know, drinks on drinks on drinks. I mean, they were having a great time. Of course, professionally getting things together. But that family was there. So if you get a job in Cali, we have a lot of alum out there. They can connect you like, hey, where should I move? Where should I avoid? What are the places to like enjoy myself? You have a family. You legitimately do for life. For life. It's amazing. It really is. Apply today. Apply to now. I just created that word. The QR codes on your flyers take you directly to the application. Don't forget it. Make sure you are applying and share the information out because it's nice to have people in there that you know. It really is.
Yeah, it makes me huge difference. I don't know about y'all, but like doing like cold emails to people and everything's kind of like awkward, but it's kind of like, well, that's how we can network and stuff. But like everyone I've reached out to from MLT has been like extremely supportive, has always made a coffee chat. Even if we don't continue the conversation, like past that, like they're open to like starting it. And like a few of them have said it.
I love it. We want that for you. Another piece that I love to share because it's huge. We do impact your quality of life in a major way. So I've had students reach back out and say, this is amazing. I actually helped my mom pay off her house. Had it not been for MLT, I wouldn't have gotten this job and I would not be in this financial position to do so. I make more money than both my parents put together. MLT has really helped me, and now I can kind of relieve some stress off my parents. Like those are some of the stories I hear, and of course I'm on the other end like, oh my gosh, this is great. Because it's amazing. It's amazing. It is definitely a quality of life program. It's going to prepare you. And we're not just going to say, hey, we want you to do this. This is how you do it. This is how you apply it. To make it practical, these are the steps. So you know what to do and how to do it. And even for some of the students who are in finance, we had a workshop put together. One of our alum had shared, hey, guess what's going on? They're looking for students in finance who can actually play golf because that's where a lot of those deals are made, on the green. And to be competitive, recruiters are now asking, oh, that's great. Okay, GPA. Okay, everybody has that GPA. Can they play golf? What's going on? How are their interpersonal skills? So you're getting that information from MLT. We are telling you what is happening behind the scenes. We're giving you relevant tips to help you be globally competitive. That's what we want. What professor is going to come in and say, hey, guys, working on the golf? how's it going? Like, no, it's here. Let's get this material. Let's get your foundation set so that you can know what to do with people's money. But no one's having the conversation of, you're trying to connect with a client who's worth 1.4 billion. Okay, what are billionaires doing? They're enjoying their time because they have enough money to do so. Where are they? On the golf court. Excellent. Let's get you on the golf. Let's get on top of your skill set there. So once again, that's just some of what MLT shares. Definitely do a whole lot more. But beautiful, intelligent, amazing people, I have spoken enough. Are there any questions? Yes, sir. Yes.
I might have missed it, but I hope you look a link to the program, your timeline.
Oh, yes. Love it. So for the career, great question, by the way. Yes, for the career prep program, it goes for a duration of 18 months, roughly 2 years until you graduate. So from sophomore year, and put that in quotations because sometimes you have juniors who fall within that time frame, all the way through until you complete your bachelor's degree. The expectation is that you obtain a job prior or shortly after you graduate. And you are encouraged and empowered to utilize the resources we have and to advocate for yourself. It's important. If we're going to put you in a room with all these amazing companies, you need to go out there with confidence. You need to share with them what you're capable of doing. We require that. And then with your coaches, what's your time commitment with your coaches? It varies upon student, but it's not, is it tactful or taxing?
Only like twice a month that we're required, but I mean for interviewing season, like I'm doing it at least like once a week. So, yeah.
As needed.
Yeah.
So we don't want to compete with your existing academic responsibilities. You need to still be on top of those. But initially, when you first come into the program, please be responsive or else you'll get dropped. Just being honest. Read your emails.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about that graduation requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're projected to graduate fall 2026, but you graduate ahead of time. Is that going to be an issue? That's a game and right. It's curious. Like let's say like you end up you get placed at a job prior to that, so you make it so that your credits tap out in summer 2026. Right? What does that end up looking like?
They would question your integrity internally. Honestly, because a student who really qualified wanted that opportunity. But if you obtained it and you knew the projected outcomes of your graduation date, then it's taking a spot that someone else could have had. I'm not trying to tell you to just, take on extra courses to get into MLT. I'm just saying your integrity would be questioned. But like I said, I do have that list of a little over 50 companies for some of my seniors in the room. If you're like, hey, I need a job today, who do you have for me? I can get you that resource as well. So ultimately, I am here promoting MLT, but I also love helping students and I want to see you successful. I want to see you thriving. And I have a baby right now. He did not go through MLT, but he works for Qualcomm and he makes enough money to take care of himself and put his sister through med school. He's living very comfortably. Brilliant young man, but just didn't get into MLT, and that's perfectly fine. Yes.
There's a question on the monthly assignments, in-person seminar, kind of what Xavier's question on the what those look like.
So the assignments, Xavier, talk to me.
The assignments are mainly stuff that, like, in a perfect world, you'd already be doing, like getting your LinkedIn optimized, getting your resume optimized, being able to, like, have your elevator pitch. So if somebody asks you, you can spit out, like, yeah. So it's really stuff like, career prep, like stuff like hopefully you're doing. But if you're not, like, they have things like in place where it's like definitely a strong push. And then as far as like the in-person events, like we went to San Francisco, so we had like a bunch of different like workshops where people from the different companies are telling us a little bit more about like their programs, about the company. about their journey into like tech, because like most of them are, most of them are minorities. But yeah, that there we're talking to the different companies. They ended up having like a career fair where like everything you learn, like having your resume, giving your elevator pitch is like putting it to the test with real companies like TikTok and stuff like that. And then the other event that we had, we went to Deloitte University.
In Dallas.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Which was amazing. The food was amazing. But same thing there, like basically like another opportunity to like connect with like recruiters, to learn more about the companies, doing like case study interviews for anyone who's doing consulting in here, Brandon. Good preparation for that. But yeah, a lot of it was like getting prepped, learning more about the companies, and to me anyway, the most important part was getting like FaceTime with the recruiters, like, because now I'm like on a first name basis with one of them, with one of the companies I want to work at. But the other stuff is great too, especially like if you're not already like prepping for it, getting guidance, because it's one thing to hear it from, I mean, God bless them, but like from professors and like the career center here, but I would much prefer, like when recruiters are telling you what they're looking for, it's like, it's different, you know, as opposed to what people think that they want to see. So, yeah, respect, like, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't have anything, like, that's a great place to start, but there will come a point in time where that's not enough, where you got to start narrowing in on your field, whether that's computer science, business, you want to do consulting, like, they're looking for different things in your resume, and getting it directly from the people who are going to be hiring you, like, that's invaluable. Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, we have a question.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So ASCEND is a program that a number of our freshmen typically enrolled in. It is for first generation students. It's another support system. It's really remarkable. Anyone in here, freshmen? Okay, great. It's a great program, and it is a pipeline into MLT career prep as well. So that's another great resource we do have. Those of you that are interested possibly in an MBA, we do have MLT MBA prep. It's amazing. They put students in the top 10 business schools in the US. And they work really hard to make sure that you have the majority of your degree paid for. So most of them get full rides. Others, you know, about 75% of it. Still nice. You're getting a master's degree from Harvard. It's really nice. Wharton. So just another program out there for you. You do have to have already completed your bachelor's degree for that program. But it is amazing. Thank you. Great question. Any others? No? All right, make sure you apply today. Please, don't waste. Say that again. Yes. Great question. Honest response, I'm not sure. But I will say this, we always have information sessions. Always, always, always. So you can jump on something virtual and get the information from one of the associate directors, because we're always trying to inform and get the word out. Great question. Yes. Did you have another one? I'm sorry. Yes. So at this time, MLT only has systems in place to support the students that are either DACA students or U.S. permanent residents or U.S. citizens at this time. Thank you. Excellent. Great question. Those are essentially application deadlines. The sooner you get your application in, the faster your turnaround. So you're going to hear back from us sooner about your acceptance status. The goal is to complete everything before the October 1st deadline. Once again, it's very competitive, so get your stuff in as soon as possible. The students should typically wait until the very last day, like the January 15th. By then, slots are completely full. Just being honest. So I encourage you to get your information in as soon as possible. Yes. And wait, I'm sorry. Did you have another question? Great question. Yes. I'll tell you right now, we opened the application August the 15th. So we're a little over a month in, right? And we have over 2,000 applications already submitted. Once again, get it in. The sooner, the better. Get your information in. Do not wait. Don't hesitate. Please. Please get your stuff in. Yes. Anticipate hearing back. Excellent. So for each deadline, it's going to be it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks out after the conclusion of that deadline. So if you put your application in prior to the October 1st deadline, you will hear back within 4 to 6 weeks after October the 1st. So you're looking to hear back roughly in December. The sooner, the better. These are great questions. Any other questions? Yes. Great question. Leverage LinkedIn and Handshake like there's no tomorrow. I will never forget, there was a presentation taking place with a LinkedIn recruiter. He worked for LinkedIn and he was a recruiter for LinkedIn. And he said that when a student reaches out to a recruiter on LinkedIn with specific details about their interests, it increases the chances of that recruiter responding to you. So if you're reaching out to somebody at Tesla, just throwing them out there, and you applied for a vacancy that had an associated number of like ABC-123, that was a vacancy number. Hello, my name is Felicia. I applied for the computer science internship at your organization. The exact number of the vacancy is ABC-123. I was wondering if you had any additional advice for me. Thank you. That's short, just keeping it concise. Don't give a whole paragraph about your life. Like, just don't. Keep it short, direct. They can respond very quickly, and then you're giving them a reference to look you up in the system. So not only do they have your name, they know what position you applied for, and they can look you up and give you a quick response. So that is extremely helpful. Handshake has so many vacancies on there as well. Companies are always looking for students, all students too. And I love that Handshake will even put an indicator, like the companies can put indicators. I am in position to sponsor. I want to sponsor. I don't sponsor. So you kind of know who you're dealing with, right? You don't have to like wonder. It's amazing, 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 amazing. So definitely do that and attend career fairs. Show up like you are ready for the job. Don't come surprised. Show up polished. I don't care if you were sweating like there's no tomorrow. Wear a black suit jacket. Cover up the sweat. It's fabulous. Show up prepared and polished. When they are there, you know, give them your resume. They say, hey, right now we're not taking resumes. Not a problem. You have a LinkedIn? I'd love to connect with you. Like, just be ready for anything. Like, just be ready to pivot. No problem. You're on LinkedIn? Okay, great. You connect with them then and there. Send a quick message. Like, can I take a picture? Snap. So they're going to remember you. Like, I need you to be really, really prepared. In addition to that, send thank you emails. And if you want to take it a step further, when you do that interview in person, if it's in person, already have prepared thank you cards. Personalize them, find out who you're going to interview with from the HR rep, and personalize them just by putting their name in. You might not know too much about them. Don't get too creepy and find out like their whole history. I'm just saying, like, you know, thank you, Marissa, so much for your time today. It's greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Felicia. Just throwing that out there. That will definitely help. And then if you're in the computer science realm, always, always, always invest in yourself. If you can use CompTIA to obtain as many certs as possible, do it. Like if you want to go certs crazy, go for it. Please look at growing trends. Don't be afraid to step out of your box and invest in yourself. You are the best investment. Definitely do that. And be confident. Please. Confidence is huge. I begged a company, it was actually Deloitte. I begged them to hire one of my babies. And they're like, hey, you know, the first interview, like, he wasn't really confident. And I was like, no, finals, midterms, like, I'm throwing out everything. Projects, it's a lot of stress, COVID. And they're like, well, we thought about that, so we gave him a second interview. And I was like, oh, okay. And the tech team was present. Oh, okay. He was not confident. My okays got quiet. And then I was like, oh. She goes, if he's not confident in his ability to deliver, why should we be? Like, he's not showing us he's worth the investment. Can you please work with him on his confidence? Now, I'm not saying be cocky. You're just being informative. You're sharing with them your impact with previous work, internships, communities, organizations. You're showing them your application of whatever knowledge you have and the great outcomes you're producing. That's what they want to know. Even when people start talking about the simulations and different projects, okay, that's like your projects are cool, but you're cooler. So tell me your impact with what you've done. That's what they want to hear. Make sure you're sharing that. Please. It's important that you do. And then if they give you that trick question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You always see yourself growing in that organization. That's where you see yourself, okay? Don't tell them, oh, you know, I'm going to probably leave and, you know, go to Apple because with the experience I'm getting here, they're definitely going to hire me. No, we're not sharing that. Like, you see yourself growing in that organization. That's where you see yourself every single time. Please, I need you to, because they're gauging your level of loyalty. So they don't want to invest all this stuff in you and then you leave them. It's like a breakup. It's like, I've invested my time, I took you out, and you're going to leave me? That new look you got, it was because of me. Like, we're not doing that. Like, that's what companies are thinking. You're able to do all of this because I paid for these certifications. You're leaving me? Another thing, last thing I need everyone to know. Please pay attention to your contracts. Look at the fine print. If there are any non-competes, pay attention to those. If they're talking about keeping your intellectual property, let's dive into this. What do you mean? And some companies will have that clause. While you're under contract with me, any and all of your intellectual property belongs to me. They do that. And so you can produce something and it's amazing, it's cutting edge, and you come out public with it, and the company is going to send you a beautiful thank you email. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. The attorneys will be over to take everything. Thank you. This has been wonderful. Literally, it happens because people don't read their contracts. And if you really love this company, you want to work for them, you can negotiate to keep your own intellectual property as long as it's not in, as long as you're not plagiarizing. Like, you're not taking any of the code that you create for them and you're like, oh, let me just take this real quick and apply it here. Just make sure you are very clear. What I am doing is not going to be in competition with your existing products. What I am doing is something completely different, and it's for a totally different demographic. So if you're very vocal about that initially, it's great. Just please read your contracts, please. Seriously. I'm sorry. I just had a baby. She was a mechanical engineer. She worked for a company, and there was a non-compete in there. It took her 4 years to get back into that specific field. So you just have to be careful. Non-competes. You're working for Netflix and they say, hey, you can't work for any of our competitors, so HBO is out of the question. You know, everything entertainment. So just, you know, think through that. Sorry, Just trying to make sure we're also protecting your money and your future. I'm done. I don't want to talk your ears off. Go, be great, have a good time, apply. Bye, beautiful people.